landing. For fuel consumption, and for stability and control under the varied weights and conditions. Auto flight control upgraded from the 767-200 or modified to adapt to the -300 model, such as verification of the autopilot was test. Avionics and braking were also tested, as well as many other airplane systems. The 767-300 flight test program has shown the new generation aircraft to be a superior performance. Since increasing the passenger load by 21% increases the fuel burn by only 6%, the aircraft will enjoy a reduced cost per passenger seat. The -300 handling qualities have been found to be as good or better than the 767-200. The FAA certified the 767-300 on September 22nd, signaling the end of a successful testing program. Lead-off customer, Japan Airlines, took delivery of the first of 4 aircraft in a ceremony held on September 25th. Soon to follow is the first of 9 -300 models ordered by Delta, and All Nippon Airways has ordered 16 airplanes for delivery beginning in 1987.
Airspeed for that will be 137 knots. 137. Okay, we're looking like we're stabilized now. Position's on. Roger.
Okay, Jordan, looking pretty good. We'll still got another couple minutes that we'll look at. Energy is slightly about a 0.5% increase.
a Maul, one of a series of single-engine aircraft manufactured in the United States at Moultrie, Georgia. Internationally famous for their ability to take off and land in small areas, and to carry just about anything you can stuff into their wide doors, Maul aircraft are known throughout the world as the airplane that works for a living. These workhorse planes can be found operating in environments ranging from the high altitude and cold of the Alps, the Andes, and Alaska, to the rugged terrain of Central and South America, Africa, and other remote spots around the world. Noted for their outstanding performance in governmental, industrial, and humanitarian service, Maul aircraft are also a favorite of sportsmen and weekend flyers. All Maul aircraft are built around a basic fuselage design. Taking a low-tech approach to a high-tech industry, the engineers at Maul have created a rugged airframe which accommodates 4 or 5 place seating and several engine configurations. Depending on the aircraft model they choose, purchasers can select from 3 basic power plants. In the piston engine class, there is the dependable Lycoming 180 horsepower engine. Or if they want more power, 235 horsepower versions are available. A 2 or 3 bladed propeller is an option, depending on the aircraft and engine model selected. The power plant attracting the most attention, however, is the 420 shaft horsepower Allison turbine. Despite nearly doubling the power of the largest piston engine available for the Maul, this turboprop model, the MX-7420 series Starcraft, is as docile as they come. The sleek cowl design effectively hiding the powerful package inside. As remarkable as the plane itself is its designer and builder, Belford D. Maul, better known as BD to friends and associates. From his rocking chair location, center stage in the main manufacturing facility, 80-year-old BD pilots the family business. Here, over 100 skilled employees handcraft these remarkable planes. To maintain close supervision, BD keeps a bicycle handy, making frequent tours of the plant's 2 hangars. He also has several rocking chairs spotted throughout his manufacturing complex. Because when BD's rocking, he's thinking. Perhaps it's his ability at abstract thought, which is responsible for so many of his innovations and inventions. Belford D. Maul was born in 1911 at Old Fort, Ohio. At the age of 16, and with his parents' blessing, Belford quit school, left the family farm, and moved to Salisbury, Pennsylvania, just outside Williamsport. His interest in anything mechanical manifested itself early on, and the urge to improve a machine or simply solve a problem differently drove him relentlessly. Turning 18, the young man joined the U.S. Army and was stationed with the 19th Airship Company at Langley Field, Virginia, as a mechanic. While serving in Langley Field that first year, BD decided to design and build his own plane. An accurate drawing accompanied this letter to his mother.
Dear Mother, I received your letter of July 19th and was very glad to hear from you. I'm still working on my plane. Due to a slight delay in material, I do not have it quite finished yet. The motor and prop are at the express station in Hampton. I will get it out the last of this month. Something new invented by BD Maul, a plane that will fly 150 miles an hour, 70 miles on a gallon of gas, and is only powered with a 36 horsepower motor, will take off and land within 100 feet or almost straight up and down. Well, I guess I will have to sign off. I am your loving son, Belford D. Maul.
It was BD's intention to teach himself to fly the plane. He believed the Chesapeake Bay would be plenty big enough for a few errors while learning how to fly, so he put his plane on floats. By the time he completed the project, however, he decided that military life wasn't for him after all. Setting aside the first flight, he bought out of the Army for $100 and dismantled his plane. He created and shipped his first airplane, the Model M1, to Salzburg. Back home, he reassembled the plane, replacing the floats with a conventional landing gear. 60 years later, he recalled his first flight, B.D. Mall.
The M1 aircraft I built at Langley Field, Virginia, and it was a mid-wing powered with a Henderson converted motorcycle engine. The weight of the aircraft was about 350 pounds, had a wingspan of 20 foot and a length of 16 foot. Got a few friends around there to help me push it uphill. It was a flat field, and when we got it started, I took off. I'd never flown before, but I took a correspondence course, and I was pretty well up on how to handle the aircraft. To my surprise, we went down the field, not as far as I thought I'd go, and I was airborne. And I flew up the valley 5 or 6 miles, started letting down, and I landed in a small field.
Early in 1933, he met June Adderholt. They were married in March 1934. June Mall.
My uncle built a homemade motorhome out of a truck bed. We moved in that when Raymond was about 6 months old. It was really crude. We built this home just one summer. We started early spring, and by Thanksgiving, we ate our Thanksgiving dinner in it.
During these unsettled times, B.D. also worked for Lycoming, a manufacturer of aircraft engines. Assigned to research and development, B.D. was exposed to the early days of Lycoming's pioneering work in propeller design. It was in 1938 that B.D.'s restless mind began churning out the flow of inventions that would change the course of their lives. B.D. Mall.
This is a mechanical starter that I designed for light aircraft engines. It was similar to an electric starter, except it had planetary gear in it, which I got from a Model T Ford car. There was a drum planetary gear in it, which I got from a Model T Ford car. There was a drum in the starter which the cable wound up on. 5-foot shock cord was used for the inertia. It was connected to the tail of the aircraft and ran under the floorboards. There was a crank, and you wind that up 10 cranks, or you could crank it all the way up, and the starter would spin the prop over.
B.D. left Lycoming in 1940 and moved his family to Jackson, Michigan. Here he worked for Mechanical Products Company, a firm formed to manufacture and distribute the starter which would be called the Hummer. Meanwhile, B.D. opened his own machine shop and contracted to manufacture machine tools. With the coming of the draft, scarce labor hastened the early beginnings of the Mall family affair. June Mall.
This sure does bring back memories. Been about 50 years or more ago. I remember running this. Big pieces of material, little pieces, and I did this while Mr. Mall worked at another place, so we got good and started because it was hard to get machine workers, and so he taught me how to run the lathe, shaper, grinders, drill presses, and I really enjoyed doing it.
These defense contracts didn't deter B.D. from developing other ideas. He invented and patented the full swivel tailwheel system. This design was a significant